This juicer is designed so you can just load whole ingredients and let it run. So I tested it out starting with oranges and a whole apple. Hi, I'm Meem. I test kitchen products so you can see how they actually perform. This one was sent to me by AMZChef. It's from their Vandisell line, but as always, this will be my honest experience using it. If you're into real hands-on reviews, consider subscribing. I've been testing this over a few days now, looking at how easy it is to use, how well it juices, and whether features like sorbet actually make sense in real use. First, I'm going to assemble this juicer after washing out all the parts before I use it. Before you assemble it, always check that this plug is closed, otherwise you will lose your juice in the pulp outlet. Then start by placing the juicing bowl onto the motor base with the anti-drip cover on the right. Then insert the auger into the center and push it down until it sits in place. Next, I'll add one of the strainers. The orange one is for sorbet and the grey one is for juice. I'm going to attach the juice strainer. There are clips on the side here that will clip into the side of the juicing body. Then slide this juicing body over the auger, aligning it with the grooves on the juicing cup, just like a puzzle, and it should sit securely. Finally, attach the feeding chute by aligning this marker with the unlock icon, then rotate it clockwise to the lock symbol. But first, you do need to open the lid before attaching it, otherwise it won't let you rotate it. And when you do disassemble it, you do need to open the lid first so that you can rotate it to unlock it. Once everything is aligned, it should lock into place pretty securely, and now we're ready to juice. This has a large feed chute, so the idea is you can drop whole fruits and veggies in without doing much prep. I started with whole oranges, peeling them and removing the pith so they don't turn bitter. Then I added a whole apple to help push things through, and this part actually worked. The blades chopped everything up like it said it would. I did have to use the pusher to scrape the walls of the container and help push the food down closer to the blades. But I still had to stop and open it up because it was backing up a little. The juicer extracted just over 400 milliliters. I left the foam reducer on to hold back the foam from the apples. The juice looked bright and fresh with some pulp coming through from the oranges, which is normal. The pulp itself was quite wet, likely because of the oranges. Next, I tried a mix of ingredients using 2 apples, a handful of baby spinach, some grapes, a baby cucumber and celery. This time I peeled and cut the ingredients slightly, and this worked better. When everything was loaded in and left to process, it handled it fairly well. But the second batch took a little longer to work through because the celery fibers started clogging the pulp outlet. And once that happens, everything begins to back up. So it's best to clean it out and then continue if you have a large batch to process. The juicer extracted just under 400 milliliters. But when I poured it, I did notice some bits floating around that made it through. The pulp here was more what I expected from a green juice since there's more water in ingredients like cucumber. Then I tried the sorbet attachment. I used frozen mango, strawberry and pineapple and let them thaw for about 10 to 15 minutes per the manual. It actually started really well, smooth texture, nice output. But after the first batch, things started to change. It slowed down and eventually clogged again. And because everything is frozen, the parts get cold, slippery and harder to deal with. The result itself was good. It came out in a nice ribbon form, but having to stop and clear it out made it feel like more effort than it's worth. So across all my testing, the issue isn't really power. It's that you have to process smaller batches to give the blades enough time to chop and push everything through to the auger, otherwise it starts to back up and the pulp outlet gets clogged. If it doesn't catch, it just spins instead of processing, so you have to adjust the food or use the food pusher to help it along. I did scoop everything out and run it again to get more juice out, which helped a bit, but it still left quite a bit behind. Finally, you end up having to open it and clean it mid-use. It's best to remove as much food as possible around the blades before lifting up the juicing body. Then what I like to do is drop all the parts into a bowl of water first to loosen everything up. Then drain as much of the pulp through a strainer so it doesn't clog my sink. The double-sided cleaning brush is best used to clean the filter to remove anything stuck in the tiny holes. And then you need to open the plug at the bottom of the juicing bowl and use the double-sided brush again to push out all the trapped pulp. Even though it's marketed as needing less prep, the manual actually recommends cutting ingredients and clearing the pulp area during use. So it's not really a throw everything in and walk away experience. You do have to do smaller batches and give the machine time to first chop and then push it down to the auger to squeeze out the juice. It runs slowly, which is expected for a cold press juicer. Noise was around 67 to 72 decibels empty and about 69 to 74 with food. It's designed to run for about 10 minutes at a time with a 10-minute interval. What stood out to me, it can handle batches reasonably well and the juice quality is good as long as you're okay with a bit of pulp, but it struggles with softer fruits. It's very dependent on how you feed it and it clogs with fibrous ingredients like celery. So this isn't really a load it and walk away type of juice. You do have to manage how you use it. This could work if you're okay taking your time and adjusting how you use it, but if you want something quick and low effort, this probably isn't the best option. Overall it does work, but it's not as hands-off or convenient as it sounds. You'll need to prep, monitor it and clean it more often than expected. So it really comes down to whether you're okay with that extra effort. If you're still deciding, I've got more juicer reviews where I test how they actually perform. I'll link those so you can compare them. Thanks for watching this review and I'll see you in the next one.